So in nonviolent communication, there's a difference between empathetic sensing and intellectual guessing. The big difference here is the big difference is more of a sense with empathetic sensing, as opposed to cognitive, guessing using our head. So a lot of times when we're first learning nonviolent communication, you might even be using a list of feelings and needs to kind of orient ourselves with these different words to expand our vocabulary and feelings and needs. And so it can appear as very much as an intellectual process. And so even when we're offering empathy to someone, it may be, we've been doing a lot of thinking to get the right feeling or the right need, to guess the right feeling or the right need. And so eventually we want to get to a place where we start to empathetically sense what is going on for someone else, as opposed to thinking too much through it. And so one way we can do this is obviously by putting ourselves in situations where we can empathize with more people, hear more stories. Before you know it, we start to just kind of get to that place where we can make those guesses just from having that experience. But another thing we can do is use identification. Actually ask ourselves, what would I be feeling if that was going on for me, and what would I be needing? And so sometimes this is a way to kind of connect empathetically and get a felt sense of what might be happening for someone else. Now we've got to be careful with that, because sometimes the identification can distract us, and we can actually start talking about ourselves or focusing too much on ourselves and actually lose sight of what's really going on for this other person. But that's something that can be helpful with empathetic sensing. So another thing that can be helpful is self-empathy, practicing self-empathy, just connecting with ourselves more often about what am I feeling in this moment, what am I needing in this moment. And as we start to do that, and we start to just really connect with that, it'll come easier to us to be able to just connect with what might be happening for other people. Another thing is to stay curious and to just use our imagination as we're guessing, rather than trying to think too hard about what's the right word. Really kind of got flowing with what that sense is within us that might be going on for the other person.